Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the world of life extension. Today, I want to talk about the terrible toll of addictions. It is a crass delusion for anyone to think that they can extend their lives and maintain a serious addiction. Experts all agree that they take at least 10 years away from your lifespan. Smoking cigarettes and cigars leads to heart disease, lung cancer, emphysema, and increases aging. People who are chronic smokers may feel that they're losing feeling in their fingers. This is because the smoking reduces circulation. Alcoholism leads to liver damage and many other health problems, and it causes aging too. I have a friend who's an alcoholic, and her hair is prematurely gray, and it's sad to see that. Drugs, recreational, opiates cause kidney failure. I know a woman who's actually right now dying of kidney failure due to opiate addiction, and it's sad to see, What a wasted life. Marijuana. People today feel it's a sort of a new, okay thing and kind of a fad now because it's legal in some states. However, if you look at the records, marijuana is associated with increased auto accidents due to impaired judgment and impaired reaction time. Drugs prescription type are the number 3 cause of death in hospitals. They call it death by doctor, DBD. And prescription drugs are seen by the body as toxic substances. So to feel that drugs, prescription type or recreational, can be of assistance is really quite problematical when you look at life extension. All of them have problems. I think one of the least given credit and the least one of these addictions that people really look at seriously is obesity, overeating. Obesity is an addiction just as much as any of the other ones, and it increases the risk of getting all the major diseases. Nothing works as well as it should when it has an overload of fat to contend with. It's harder on the heart to push blood through the circulatory system when it has to get past the extra fat, it has to push through. I heard it said one time that you all use food as a tranquilizer. And I think truer words have never been said. So it's important to begin to look at other ways to calm and stay serene and balanced and deal with stress without having to use food as a tranquilizer. Food's accepted. The other ones really aren't accepted. So that's the problem with overeating and obesity. It is going to shorten your lifespan. So how do you deal with all of these addictions? Well, they're all associated with dropping out of life and feelings of no one cares about me, feelings of hopelessness, nothing I can do to get out of this hole I've dug myself into. Feelings of being abandoned are very common in addictions. And feelings that we live in a sink or swim world really are right on. People who become addicts often have had jobs in the past, but they lost them. And let's face it, it's easy to do, and if you don't swim, you sink. And if you sink, what happens next? You want to try to hide the feeling of being a loser, of being a failure in life. And so somebody comes around with an addiction that gives you a moment of relief, perhaps, from those feelings. We all live in a rural community, and we all have an obligation to help the addicts, the stragglers, because without help, they can hobble our entire civilization. And you can't go by one day without reading some tragedy in a newspaper due to somebody who was venting his rage on some innocent party usually, although usually it's a interaction. It's not just somebody at random. The victim agrees to be a victim. And so we all have a world community obligation, and we're beginning to see that now with a greater feeling of world community. There's a lot more to be said here, but that sort of takes us into conclusion for our little talk on the terrible toll of addictions. Again here, one last comment. It is a height of delusion to think that any addiction is not going to affect life extension or longevity. They all do.